Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
So there is a story out there that Wendy had a major victory in this Wells Fargo case, and I'm here to tell you, child, that it's all a lie. Child, I don't know who is out here making up lies on this lady and why, but I got proof that it's just not true. But before we get into all of that, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of this tea. Now let's get back into it. So OK Magazine and Radar Online are two publications that are reporting that Wendy Williams scores victory in Wells Fargo battle. Court appoints guardian over her fortune. So late January, early February of this year, Wendy Williams lost access to her millions that she had in Wells Fargo Bank. Wendy had been banking with them for years and had an account manager by the name of Lori Schiller handling things on her behalf. Lori had been handling Wendy's accounts for 15 years. Lori must have did something that Wendy didn't like. Wendy thought Lori was a friend. Wendy ended up firing her as an account manager. Then the bank came back and said that Wendy was incapacitated and needed guardianship, and they froze her money. Wendy couldn't pay bills. Wendy couldn't buy food. Here it is, a millionaire having to borrow money from her friends because Wells Fargo decides to put her money on hold. They said, look, you need a power of attorney. Wendy said, cool, I'm going to use my son. They said, nope, can't be him. Wendy was like, okay, then what do you want me to do? Wendy ended up filing suit against Wells Fargo. The bank said, okay, cool, we'll allow you to pay your bills, but we'll only allow you to pay the bills that you previously paid from this account before. So nothing new can come out, no new attorneys, no new assistant. You're not going to try to be sneaky to get your money. You can only pay what you used to pay before. Child, y'all know we was over here breaking down the case, reading those documents front to back, side to side. We was giving Wells Fargo a run for their money. That was up until Wells Fargo's shady behind wanted to seal the case. So since then, Wendy has gotten online and updated us to let us know that she still did not have access to her money. That was up until today when a source close to the publication, The Sun, let it be known that the guardianship process is complete, which means the court appointed a financial guardian. Now it's up to the guardian, Wendy, and the court as to how she will be accessing her money. The source goes on to say that at this point in the process, Wells Fargo is no longer involved in the court proceedings, and the bank will be acting at the direction of Wendy's guardian and Wendy, who is 57, one insider claim. They go on to say that several sources have also revealed that there was a temporary guardian in place since at least March, though it is unclear if the official court-appointed financial guardian is the same person. A source familiar with the process added that whoever is in place is someone who is financially savvy and who is able to understand the various accounts that hold Wendy's fortune. Now, looking at this, I was like, this is a good thing. However, Wendy Williams, for them to not fully give her control over her money, they're still seeing something wrong with her. So I was ready to report on it, but before I reported on it, I was like, let me verify this story. Yes, I see it in Radar. Yes, I see it in OK Magazine. Yes, I see it in The Sun. Then other publications are reporting it now. But I was like, girl, you got access. Talk to the attorney and see what she says. So I reached out to the attorney and I said, hello, Attorney Thomas. I see that you and Wendy scored a major win on this case against Wells Fargo and wanted to know if you had a press release regarding this victory or if you had any words that you would like to share regarding this that I can share with her fans. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. She said, good afternoon. That story is not true. So my thing is this. I want to know this. Who is it that continues to make these lies up on this lady? This story was so elaborate. So many details. That just goes to show you really do have to check your sources. But this story was so elaborate, so many details, child. It goes on to say that the court can eventually decide to give Wendy back full control over her account and end the guardianship, but that is up to the court. Like, who is doing this? It says, in the meantime, Wendy is said to still have a voice and she still has a say when it comes to her finances. And while she doesn't have 100% control right now, that could all change soon depending on what the court decides. They said Wendy can possibly have her money by July, like have full control over her money by July. So they'll only appoint somebody for what, 2 months? Come on now. Who is making up these stories? You better lay low. Honestly, if the information is not coming from the judge, Wendy, or the attorney, I'm not believing it. The case is still sealed. There's no changes made within the case, like saying the case is closed or anything. So I'm just not believing it. And I don't know who made this story up, but I'm just tired of hearing false information about Wendy. I've said it time and time before, and I'll say it again. The only person I really feel in Hollywood that has Wendy's back is Jason Lee. Jason Lee recently sat down with Angela Yee and her podcast Lip Service, and he had this to say about his recent interactions with Wendy, and I promise you, it'll probably shed light on what all is happening.
Wendy. I'll say Wendy too, but Wendy is different because like the pop out with Wendy this weekend was strategic for different.
Is her show really coming back?
She says she's coming back.
But the reason, did they say it or did she say it?
Well, let me tell you about they, because them are some motherfuckers over there producing that show. I ain't even talking about like the local people. The local people are cool because I've been on the show several times, whatever, and I fuck with all them. Hey, I have this fundamental issue right now with so many white people that control everything, whether it's VC raising money or media or music or like, you know, I don't know as much as they're saying they want to invest in black that they really mean it. This is a black woman who we all know, like literally built her own way from radio all the way up to nationally syndicated TV. It's hard to get a nationally syndicated show, right? And so when you have somebody that does that and then leaves for whatever reason, what I will say, the only thing I can think of why she would have left is, having been on the show right before she left and then seeing her recently, she was completely dialed in this time, focused, calm, happy, healthy. And I think when she was there, I felt like she was on this hamster wheel, like literally in between, running her from here to there. And, you know, she's 56 or something like that. And she's been through it for a long time and been through a lot. I felt like the way they did her when she left, putting all these white people on who don't resonate with the audience, not structuring the show because these celebrities don't want to do hot topics. They don't want to hurt people's feelings. Your show, when I looked at my podcast, I looked at Breakfast Club, like, I love that. That's a show you could tune in. Y'all gonna ask all the shit we're waiting for you to ask or that we believe should be asked. We know it's gonna happen.
Moneyline felt like we were too nice.
I was surprised. Maybe I don't have enough tea.
But some people feel like you're easy or not. But you know, it's a vibe. You get in there and you ask the questions, and I feel like that's missing. Wendy gives us that in the morning. You know, nobody wants to watch Drew Barrymore. That shit is fucking annoying, and her lisp annoys me. Like, it was cute when E.T. was in the room, but like right now, Drew, you need to go away.
Why did you bring up E.T.? That was so long ago, Jason.
That's when I liked her. Then you have the real. They weren't real. Lonnie was a bully. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was her weight issues or just the fact that Tamar was the star, but she bullied everybody there. Bam, that shit.
See, I like Lonnie.
I know. And then there's I don't even know all the other shows that are getting canceled. Everybody's unemployed now. Nobody cares, right? But we want Wendy back. So I had dinner the other night with Wendy, and it was just evident when I was sitting there that she had all her faculties. So I said to her, you know, because I've been trying to get in touch with Wendy since July of last year. I've been doing the show, I've been going to her house, taking her out, linked her up with Tiffany and Cardi, like helping to bring good people in her life. And so when I called the manager, he was like, oh, she's unavailable and can't take any calls. And I said, can I send her flowers? Because I was going to send a note. You know, bitch call me and step aside, you know. She's not accepting flowers. So I was going to pull up at her house, but I'm like, that's kind of weird. So when I sat there with her and she told me that she didn't get any messages, when they had asked me to host the show for the opening weekend, I told them, okay, Monday I'll bring Tiffany, Tuesday I'll bring Cardi, Wednesday I'll get Mariah Carey do a surprise for Norman, you know, Thursday we'll bring Tamar. They were like, nah, we're not doing that. And they started bringing on a bunch of white people who were doing dumb shit like Leah Remini. It was always... I was thinking about Leah Remini and Drew Barrymore. It's always the people with the list. But they had Leah Remini sit up there with the girl from Drag Race, boring, talking about getting her coochie ate out. Nobody want to hear that. Nobody want to hear that from her. So when I saw what they were doing with the show, you know, I started publicly criticizing them. And they were offended that I did, you know, because the guy who owns the show called and said, you know, why don't I ask Nicki Minaj to co-host with me? And I'm like, you must not be paying attention because I don't have a relationship with her. They're like, oh, Cardi B, same thing.
Whoa,
and
definitely not the same thing.
I was like, that's not the same thing. So once I started publicly addressing it, I made it a point to ask Wendy. She wasn't aware of none of that. And then she told me how her manager allegedly stole some money from her, and then the people who had kind of worked with the bank to hold all her money, which is, by the way, I'm moving all my money out of Wells Fargo now. So when I started talking to her, I'm like, yo, we need to pop out. Because now that I'm looking at you, you're smiling, you're healthy, you're happy, you're like energetic, you're running to the car by yourself. Like, this is not the Wendy we've been seeing. So we got dressed up, went to Cardi's party, and we made sure that everybody saw those images. And so now everybody, and the next day, they didn't even mention her on their show. They did a whole Met Gala recap, after party recap.
And they didn't mention Wendy.
And didn't mention Wendy. Wow. So the fans right now are like killing them online.
And they're trying to paint a picture of her that's not true.
Well, hold on. Going back to the Kardashians, how the mainstream works, right? If you say somebody's crazy, if you get a picture or you use an old picture and say they're debilitated, we all know Wendy's had her issues. And then you put enough of that in the press and it gets picked up and amplified. And then you build a case to seize their account. So they have no resources now, right? Wendy said her manager came to her house with 2 security guards unannounced and uninvited. So she had to hurry up and get out the back door and get in her car and fly to Miami to be with her family because she didn't know what the fuck they were all trying to do.
Trying to commit her or something.
And then now you got people taking over her show. So every morning it's still the Wendy Williams show and name and title and opening.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport was just hosting because Envy was on with
That is so scary.
If the Breakfast Club hosted the Wendy Williams show, we would watch. If Jason Lee hosted, we would watch. They say, oh, you're not big enough. I go, well, I'm not big enough. My Kanye West interview got 3 billion impressions and Sherry Shepherd got like 785,000. So
do you like Sherry Shepherd?
I like Sherry Shepherd, but not for that. Because,
she has her own show coming, so it'll be different.
And that show may be good, but I don't go to McDonald's to eat the Burger King French fries. I go to McDonald's to eat McDonald's French fries. And we all know wherever we go, whatever we're enticed by, whatever our appetite is, if I went to the Breakfast Club and I was looking at Peter Rosenberg and fucking Ebro, I would be like, what the fuck is this plastic ass, fake ass version of the realest show in the world? Like, I don't want it. And that's what's happening with the fans. Michael Rappaport sitting up there talking about black women and making jokes about the Real Housewives, like to a show that's watched predominantly by probably black women or black people. It doesn't make any sense. So how is it that you say Jason Lee bringing Cardi B or Jason Lee bringing Tiffany Haddish or Jason Lee bringing Mariah Carey is not big enough for that audience?
Child, when Jason said that her ex-manager Bernie came to the door with 2 security guards and Wendy had to sneak out the back door and go to Miami to be with her family, child, this lady has been through it. I don't care how you feel about her. She does not deserve that. She just doesn't deserve it. It's too much. It's too much going on, and I just don't like it. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about all of this madness going on with Wendy Williams and people making up all these stories? I just don't like it. I don't. Leave a comment, and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new episodes.